Alright. Finally, we're back. Okay. And you can tell that this is not going to be a super technical video because I'm still wearing blue jeans. That's the pointer. The reason for all the different stuff sitting out here is it seems that there's a stigma attached to track and field that all you do is go out and just run. So nobody wants to do it. There's no high school or junior high kid that wants to go out and just do nothing but run. And that's a lot of times I'm, trying to get kids to go out and throw for me. It's like, I don't want to run. 4 throwers for one. Okay, there's a little bit of running. We don't do near as much as you do in, say, football or basketball or anything else. Sprints, you ain't got to worry about doing gassers or suicides or shuttle runs or whatever. We don't do that. Okay, because as a thrower, you only need to be maximum explosive ability either in a 7-foot or an 8-foot 2-inch space. That's it. Okay, so going out and running 400 meters at a time is pointless. Other than maybe, I don't know, javelin throwers. You gotta run a little bit further, but not that much. Normally what I'll do is I'll go out and we'll do, if we do a sprint workout, it's not a lot. Usually it'll add up to anywhere from 400 to 600 yards, but it's in 20 to 40 yard increments. And I mean, it's full out, get to top speed as fast as you can get there, and that's it. Okay, it's just for working on fast twitch muscle fiber, that's it. Because if you notice, javelin is the only one where you run on a straight line. Shot put and discus, shot put, you start backwards. Okay, discus, you start backwards. We're never sprinting. Unless we do a throwers relay, which is just for fun. And it's a fun thing to do for, camaraderie with your fellow throwers. But, and what people don't realize, and I think it's lost a lot of its appeal. When I was in school, I didn't have the option for baseball during track, so we did track. I wouldn't have done baseball anyway, because I was a football player and I was a thrower. I played basketball a couple years in between. The only reason I was any halfway decent at basketball was because I was explosive, I could jump. And I could battle under the boards because I was big, bulky, and strong. And the course not very long. So I could hit a sprint and get to top speed pretty quick, but usually everybody passed me up after half court. I had super torquey, like a Granny Lowe. But I played football and I loved football, and I threw shot put and discus. I do javelin one year, but we didn't have a javelin coach, so I kind of tore my shoulder up a little bit my junior year. But so nobody really knew that. Back then I did. Throwing made me better at football. Especially my senior year. I didn't play offense at all my senior year. I think I played one play in one game because the kid got hurt. I played strictly defense and special teams my senior year. And throwing and linemen, the workouts, the weight program it all goes hand in hand. It's the same concept. Strong, aggressive, explosive movement in a short time. And it made me great at defense, which was a bonus. I mean, because I like playing defense just because I like to run around and hit people. And then also, football season made me ready for, closer to being ready for track. people don't realize, and that's why I have all these things out here. You know, I got a football helmet, so it helps with football. And I'm a huge believer, and I preach it to my kids. I know you can't force them to, because I coach football also. You can't force the athlete to do it. But if you want to be a football player and you want to be better at what you do in football, there is no other sport offered in high school that will key on exactly what you need to work on. You need to work on explosive strength coming off the line. You need to be a thrower. I'm a firm believer that if you play a line, if you love football and you want to be a lineman, that you need to go out for track and throw. I did it, and a lot of the guys that I know that even went to state in track were awesome football players. Were great football players. And if you guys want to do the research and look, a lot of the kids that are recruited to K-State were throwers. There's a bunch of them. State record holder for 3A, Monty Beisel, threw shot put, discus, also ran the 100-yard dash at state track. Went to K-State, played football, went to the NFL. Mark Semino had the state record before him in 3A, went to K-State, played for Philly in football. Trey Deshawn, there's another one, he was a thrower. The Sveta kid that just signed, he's a thrower. The other guys that I know that went on to play college football that threw when I was in school for Sabetha were throwers. And I think one, I don't know if both of them went to K-State or just the one. Wes Hill and Brian Relly, I threw against them. Went and played, were explosive, did well in shot put and discus, and went on to play college football. There is no other, that I can think of, event that goes so closely hand in hand with what you do as far as alignment in football or any other sport. And I'll challenge anybody to it. I can help you with your baseball swing. That's why I had the baseball helmet on. Golf, javelin, throwing javelin, there's a lot of movements in there that are the same as pitching. And there's a lot of things that we do that we focus on in throws that nobody ever really thinks of unless they were a thrower. The reason I got the heavy bag and stuff here, well, part of it is, I was actually watching a video on YouTube. You know, YouTube, you click on a few things and you end up in a completely different area. But it was Michael Jai White had a video on producing power in a punch. I didn't realize this, but I thought it was pretty awesome. He was a decathlete in college and he threw shot put. And you guys will have to watch the video, just look for it. If anybody doesn't know who he is, you will when you see him. The power produced in his punch, he pertained to, he gave to his knowledge of throwing shot put and how the hip, knee, and toe, everything works because you line everything up behind your shoulder and get behind it, and the timing of it and everything through your punch comes, everything you do, throwing or any movement where you're swinging anything, any torso twist, anything, baseball, golf, girls, softball, swinging an axe, a sledgehammer, it doesn't matter what it is, you twist and your hips and everything are all involved. And throwing does that for you. And I'm not saying that you need to go out for track just to throw, because if you're a running back and you need breakaway speed, you've never gone off track, so you've never had a sprinter coach that can actually teach you how to run correctly, and the timing of everything. Agility, balance, positional awareness in your body, being able to move, like as a lineman, being able to move with, whether it's a defensive or offensive. If you're an offensive lineman, being able to move with that defensive lineman and still be in a powerful position enough to take control of him. Or as a defensive lineman, being able to change direction and know what position you need to hit in the timing of your body to make your punch coming off the line or your rib move coming off the line as explosive and useful as possible, as powerful as possible. And if you say, man, I gotta work, I'm gonna hit the gym this summer, or I'm gonna hit the gym after basketball's over and get ready for football next year, and I'm gonna be, I'm gonna go to college and play football as a lineman, and then you go out for baseball, you're not doing it right. Okay. And there's nothing wrong. I love baseball too. I play it. But if you want to be better at football, baseball's not going to get you there. Sorry. If you want to be better at a certain thing in football, baseball's not going to do it. Maybe quarterback to teach you to throw right. I don't know, maybe. And this is my opinion, and it's not just my opinion. There's a whole bunch of other opinions out there that are exactly like mine, and they are from professional throwers that played football, or professional football players that were throwers. I made a post about college combine guys that were discus and shot put throwers. To be a good thrower, you have to be explosive. So you got to work on it. So the way we lift is different. If you want to be strong and explosive, you don't do the weight training programs in any other sport to do that. To key on it. Because there's always conditioning and stamina stuff in every other sport that you have to do. What you need to do in throwing also, you still have to be conditioned and have, stamina. Because you're expending a whole bunch of energy real fast in a short, right now it's boom, as much energy, potential energy and mass, everything that you put into it, one throw at a time. And that's why I got a heavy bag, because runners don't like to throw. Heavy bags work real well as far as conditioning goes. You got one of these and throw some punches and move around it and move with it, and you can get your heart rate up pretty quick. So I challenge anybody to come up with a sport that would not be helped if you went out for track, even baseball, softball. Give me 30 minutes with you, and I can help your swing. Golf. Golf, if you're lacking power in your drive, I bet I can find out why. There's certain things that you can do with your hips and knees and your feet at certain times of when you're wanting to do something during any sort of rotational movement or trying to draw power. There's small things you can do to stay grounded longer, to draw more energy from your drive. Baseball is pitching. Okay, as a pitcher, you come back and you separate. Okay, your hand as you come through, you separate to create that twist where your hips are ahead of your shoulders, and then you come through and throw. And most of the time we step off. I was a pitcher also. We step off. Okay, after wind, separate. You step here, and you drive off and explode off the rubber, right? Okay, as a pitcher, you also hold here and fall into your throw. Okay, the reason you do that is to get your movement going in that direction so you could explode off that rubber to put the extra energy into your pitch. Javelin and shot put both kind of work the same way with that. When you're throwing shot put and you're in the back of maybe you're a glider, okay, you come here and come down, and as you get ready to go, you fall down and back into your glide, and then explode out, which makes you faster to the front. Javelin, you hit your penultimate step to fire that leg out and get your upper body switched to get your leg out here to get everything torqued to where you can fire through it. The mechanics of the arm is different. A lot of the same injuries, Tommy John surgeries, shoulder injuries, come in javelin, and pitchers get them all the time. And it's really easy to do with javelin because it's such a large implement, but it's only, male javelin is 800 grams and the girls is 600. So it's not very heavy for as large as it is. So you're going to throw it as hard as you can, and you're going to tear your elbow up. If you don't have somebody that knows how to get you in the right positions. So don't get scared because of that. Baseball, your swing. I don't have a bat, I couldn't find it, but I got a bat-ish object. Okay. Your swing in baseball, right? Believe it or not, this position it's a power position. Okay, but you're not twisted to here. Here's your power position for shot put and discus. Okay. It's all right here. Baseball's the same way. Okay, if you got a swing coach, they're going to tell you, okay, sit back, step, drive your heel down, and drive from here and come through. Something that I haven't seen very many that say it, but to speed that swing up, instead of just going here and driving your heel in and then twisting, if you actually use your left side more, okay, it's going to speed your swing. It's going to speed your swing up from that to, okay, you step in, you pull your left hip. If you would pull that left hip back instead of just step, drive your heel down and drive over the top, step and pull that hip back, everything comes through a lot faster. You can swing a heavier bat just as fast as you can swing a lighter one. Just in pulling your left side to speed your right side up. Pitching, throwing, shot put, everything. I try to keep everybody grounded as long as you can. Because believe it or not, when you're throwing and you finish and everybody's like, you jump at the end. It's not that you jump, it's that you put so much torque into your throw that you come off the ground. And if you don't come off the ground, you're gonna fly out the front of the ring. Okay. In pitches, and watch the back foot of your pitchers. Okay, when they step, they're coming down. When you step and drive off the mound, okay, it's normally you'll see their heel is like 10 o'clock to maybe 12, their back heel. Okay, if you rotate that over just a little bit more, to rotate your back heel over a little bit more, you stay grounded a little bit longer, and it actually puts more torque, and you bring your hips more into the throw. So you let that foot rotate. Okay, your 12 o'clock is where you normally see them. If you let it rotate over the top a little bit, you get that a little bit longer that your foot is still on the ground before you push off. Okay. Girls softball swings, same problem, same thing. Okay. I'm not sure on the pitching for softball though, because that's all here. Yeah, I guess keeping grounded longer probably still works the same way. I might have to go try to learn how to fast-paced softball. Golf, which is funny because whenever we went down to the state there in Wichita, they had that sports complex that had like Okay, so I was talking and I didn't realize that I'd ran out of time. So, I was talking for a while. Anyway, talking about the golf thing, real quick story. It was funny about this golf. I can hit a golf ball really freaking far if I can get it to go straight. And it's because of my toe and hips and everything, my timing. But anyway, go down to Wichita for state track, and this is my senior year when it happened. I got in trouble and got kicked off the driving range because I was like, I had some guys that was helping me watch. We were driving golf balls, and I was killing them. It was like, you're hitting them so hard we can't see where they're going because we lose sight of it. And then we came to realize when the guy came over and said, "You gotta leave." Yes, I was hitting them hard enough that we'd lose sight of them, but I was also hitting them in the wrong spot. That the reason we lost sight of them is because we was looking over there and it sliced so freaking hard or curved so freaking hard that it's gone. But anyway, they had go-kart tracks at this place and arcades and driving ranges and you know. But I was hitting it hard enough and far enough with enough velocity on it that it took off and we'd lose sight of it because we're still looking this way. Well, by that time it had already curved that way and went 200 yards and cleared the net on the on the side of the driving range, and the golf balls were landing on the go-kart track as people were going by. So anyway, yeah, there's a lot of things when it comes to torquing your body, getting your hips ahead of your shoulders, in different sports that you learn to perfect in throwing, whether it's shot put, discus, or javelin. And the one thing that I want to talk about with this is, you know, runners don't like, or throwers don't like to run, so working on a heavy bag is good for conditioning and, you know, your shoulders, and working your power position, your toe, and how you move. I also used them for football when I was in school because somebody holding a bag really doesn't work the same way. And I use it for different things for shot put also, especially when you're by yourself. Like you can't do trunk twist with a medicine ball with a partner, which you normally would. You know, you pass it, but you can't do that. So, you know, this is an 80-pound bag, and I can't twist it too much because it doesn't have a swivel on it right now. But you can do pretty heavy twists if you're not a partner. Also, your reaction throws, a lot of times you can do them up against a wall with the medicine ball, but you also do the ones where you lay down and catch and throw. You do that with a bag. You just sit and throw it, you know, rock it back and forth. And then just the movement of throwing a bag that's heavier. You know, we do a lot of stuff with it. I'm always looking for something different for training, just because it breaks up the monotony and you get better, intense practices and training things if you're not doing the same thing all the time. But yet you're doing the same thing. It's fun with a heavy bag. The heavy bag is good because when you actually use a heavy bag, like even for boxing or punching, you move with it, and it's good for like football as far as alignment because you can use it and stay in your position. There's still pressure, but moving and staying powerful works great with the bag. I don't remember if I even said this in the other film, but in this one, as far as punching goes, be careful if you've never thrown a punch, because if your timing's off and you're not moving right with the bag and you hit it the wrong way, you can break your wrist and your hand. You get a boxer's fracture using a heavy bag. So they come with wraps. So watch the videos, learn how to wrap your hands if you need to. but staying in a powerful position and moving is big in football, and you have to be able to do that in shot put, because otherwise we would just do this and then drop it to a powerful position. Okay, so heavy backs, that's fun. I like it. Let me get this out of the way. And here's the thing, even if you want to play baseball, at least at our school they do, Kansas is the same, I don't know where it is everywhere else, but they have, Acacia has multi-sport athlete rules that you have to follow. The last two senior throwers that I had coached were both baseball players also. And I have a kid this year that's going to play baseball. I can work around it. I'm flexible as far as that goes. Come try it out if you've never done it. Or if you're not sure. If you like it, cool. Sign up. Let's do it. If not, fine. Go back to baseball. Or just stick with baseball. If you're just doing weightlifting, if you're doing a weight program, great. Do a weight program. But come throw. Try a thrower's weight program because they're different. Throwers don't do typical athletic weight training. It's a lot of the same stuff. You don't do near as much Olympic stuff. I mean, you do, but most of the time, if you're throwing, you're already fairly athletic by the time you're in high school. So athletic lifts aren't quite as important as building strength and explosive power. So the way I train people and the way I've always trained is different than what you would do at your school weight training program. It's different than powerlifting. Because powerlifting is lifting as much weight as possible. A thrower's workout is moving as much weight as possible, as quickly as possible. There's no speed or time clock on powerlifting. There's no, if it takes you 2 minutes to complete a max bench press, that's fine. Throwing, that's not gonna work. So we don't work maxes as much. We don't work slow lifts. Okay, so if your max is 300 pounds on bench and you put 280 on there, 275, if you can't move it fast, don't do it. I mean, it's okay to do once in a while, of course, but we want to focus more on moving as much weight as possible, as fast, as explosively and controlled as possible. So the training for it's a little bit different, but it's the initial, explosion of the movement, and then the big push all the way through the rest of it. So defense, I keep playing to the football players because I was a football player and I threw, and everybody that I know that was a badass football player, that I considered a badass football player, also threw in high school. There's some people they don't know, they probably don't know it. There's some people as kids I'm trying to get to come play that I know that they also, or get to come throw, that I know they threw, and I know they played football, and I know that they were pretty good at both of them. Maybe one more than the other, but it doesn't matter. And I think that's where a lot of it's lost is. Wrestling is probably the only other one I would consider football players should try. As far as being similar. Basketball is great for conditioning, and it is great for jumping and you still get explosive stuff out of there. It's more, it's good for coordination, of course. But I also play basketball, and I like basketball. I didn't play my senior year, which the coach wanted me to, but I was focused on other things, and I didn't particularly want to play for him anyway. But anyway, I could dunk a basketball in my senior year. One-handed. I never got to where I could do it with both hands. But still being 6'3" and 275 up to 290 when I was in track, because I was getting weight for track. Up to 290, that's not bad. I don't think. But back then there was a lot of us that could do it, and a lot of that goes, in my opinion, on how they do weightlifting and weight training in schools now. And it started when I was still in school. I'm just going to say the estimated max stuff has a lot to do with it. They started that my senior year, and they got rid of deadlifts because of injuries and insurance issues. And a lot of that is because a lot of your weight training coaches or PE teachers that you lift with, they know physical training, they know weight training programs. The form stuff is where it gets lost, and the mechanics, the timing, and the proper way to lift. I'm not sure there's very many people that can tell me why you wear a weight belt. I mean, you know why you wear one, but how do you use one? What is the proper way to use a weight belt? And if you know, go ahead and answer, but I'm not going to tell you on video yet. I just want to see. Or even, even with power cleans or clean and jerk, snatch, whatever. I didn't really care for those. I did hang cleans. I loved hang cleans. Hang cleans were great, but that's all from here, But I had somebody tell me that deadlift is pointless anyway, because it's not an Olympic lift. That's why they do power cleans, because it's safer and it's a more explosive lift. But you tell me, how do you get a super high power clean if you don't do heavy deadlifts? Explosive heavy deadlifts with proper form. How is your power clean going to get that much higher? It's going to take you forever to get it high, for one. A lot longer than would if you did deadlifts properly. You can use a weight belt when you're bench pressing, and it helps if you know how to use a weight belt. Form and technique is what killed the deadlift in schools, because people were hurting their backs because they were grabbing as much weight as they could and straightening their legs and then trying to stand up. Everyone was pulling muscles in their back, they were pulling hamstrings. That's going to happen if you don't know how to do it. Power clean, to me, is a much more dangerous lift than deadlift is. Because if you don't know how to shoot your elbows and stay under the bar, or if you don't know how to keep your arms straight and keep your bar path where it's supposed to be, you're going to arch your back to get under it, and you're going to pull a muscle on your back. And you can hurt yourself. Well, you can blow a disc very easily doing that. And you can for all your other lifts. The snatch clean, if you don't, any of them, hang clean, snatch clean, power clean, clean and jerk. If you don't keep your bar path where it's supposed to be, and you don't have your timing, and you don't have the mechanics or the knowledge to know how to keep the bar path straight and how to lift it and how to stay under it and shoot the elbows and everything else, you're going to hurt yourself. And you do that a lot easier with power cleans and all that, your Olympic lifts, than you do with a straight deadlift. They tried to avoid that by going to a trap bar, which trap bar's fine, but it's completely different body position. We had a trap bar when I was in school. I didn't like it. It just didn't feel right. But that's my opinion. I couldn't do squats because of my back injury. I couldn't do back squats. So I did a lot of front squats. And then the hip sled. I loaded that thing down and just reps, to make up for not being able to do a back squat. A heavy back squat. I mean, I can still do I could still do 300 to 400 pounds. That was it. Because the compression of my spine and the injury that I had makes me arch. So front lifts was okay, or front squats was okay. There's a lot of different things in track and field that can help you with all your other sports that you love. You may not love track. I love track. I love throwing. I love football. If I had to choose between the two, I'd throw. When I signed with Highland, I was going to do both. They wanted me to play football too. I probably could have went somewhere else to a bigger school, but my mindset, if I'd known then what I know now, I didn't focus on my grades like I should have. My back injury had something to do with it, and then I'd gotten in some trouble when I was in school with the law, and that will affect going to a bigger college. So, me talking all this stuff up, that I could have done something, and I could have, but it was my own fault that I wasn't able to. So I'm not just trying to blow smoke. I mean, like I said, if speed is what you lack, go out for track and learn how to run right. If that's what you need. If explosive ability is what you lack, go out for track. You can long jump, high jump, any of the field events. There's some explosive movements that you normally wouldn't do in any other sports that will help you. Flexibility, balance, because you got to be pretty balanced. See, I can kick that million ball bounce to be able to do all that and to stay powerful and moving and controlled at the same time in discus or in shot put, whether you want to glide or spin. And that is the reason that you see so many people spinning nowadays that you didn't see before. Is because I think a lot of it has to do with taking away the heavy lifting in school. Honestly, because you lose explosive ability, and to be a glider, you have to be extremely explosive to be successful. Yes, there's also mechanics and form involved,